What's up, creepers? I'm Kevin. This is Haunted by Horror, and today I'm talking about Chucky. All right, let's do this.
I don't usually eat cream puffs, but today's a cheat day.
Season 2, Episode 3 of Chucky is titled Hail Mary, and I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see any more of what's going on with Tiffany and Nika and Glenn and Glinda, but it was an interesting episode. It's totally focused on what's going on in the school. Jake and Devin and Lexi and Nadine have captured the Chucky doll that was going around with a camera phone and taking pictures of everything. And they're trying to figure out why he was taking the pictures. So what they end up doing is tying him to a chair and prying his eyes open like in a Clockwork Orange and forcing him to watch The Thing and Psycho 3 and some other stuff, and then just making him watch that while listening to metal until he, for some reason, develops an aversion to it. After which they start playing things like My Little Pony and a bunch of really sappy cartoons like that to reprogram him and make him this lovable little good guy doll. And honestly, I have no idea why that works, but it does, and that particular Chucky doll is a good guy now. We also have a bit of drama in the school. Father Bryce sees Jake and Devin kiss in the hallway, and instead of calling them out or punishing them or even letting them know that he knows, he decides to use that against Jake because he's convinced that Jake has taken the doll. And so he punishes Devin, thinking that that will get Jake to return the doll. Because for some reason, Father Bryce is particularly focused on Jake. We also have some interesting scenes with Nadine in this. We learn a little bit more about her as a person. She sits down and babysits the Chucky doll and talks to him about her cat, and they have a nice little chat session. They're really doing a good job this season of making Lexi seem like a more well-rounded character that you could actually sympathize with. They're showing that she has a drug problem, and she has an interesting scene with Nadine where Nadine comes in and sits and talks to her and kind of comforts her. We also learn from a few things that Sister Catherine has said, and especially from one thing that Father Bryce said, that Sister Catherine has had a past. Some shit went down in her past, and I'm not sure how much that will play into this season, especially because in the first season, Junior's mom had this big secret, and then it turned out to be a big nothing burger. And so I guess we'll have to wait and see if that actually is anything at all. We have another Chucky doll that is delivered to the school, and at first we don't see the Chucky doll. It comes in, and while Nadine is in confessional, it comes in and kills the priest and breaks his rosary. He strangles him with his rosary, which seems ineffectual to me because I would think, as much pressure as it would take to strangle someone with something, that the rosary would break well before that point. And of course, the rosary does break, but he still manages to strangle the priest. And so we have a new Chucky doll. And the way we find out about this new Chucky doll is pretty interesting. There are some scenes where Trevor is trying to use Lexi's drug problem against her, and at one point he goes into Lexi and Nadine's room, and I'm pretty sure he plants an ounce of weed in her drawer, in her top drawer. And his intention is to get her in trouble, but as he's leaving, this Chucky doll walks in with this oddly deep voice and just punches him across the room. And Trevor is just pleading with this Chucky doll, and the doll just punches straight through his chest and rips out his heart and says, "I never miss arm day." And it's just so goofy and kind of awesome. But we still don't get to see the Chucky doll. And so at this point, I'm expecting this like swole ass Chucky doll. We eventually do get to see this new Chucky doll. When Lexi was put in charge of watching the nice Chucky doll, um, she was having withdrawals, went down to the bathroom, and could not deal with this Chucky doll anymore. She couldn't be in the same room with it. And when she did that, the Chucky doll left their room, but it went back to Father Bryce's room and set itself on Father Bryce's desk because it overheard them talking before about how they would be in trouble if he wasn't returned by the end of the day. So he goes and returns himself to keep them from getting in trouble, which is interesting and leads into how we eventually see this whole ass Chucky doll, which I was almost a little disappointed. It was pretty funny though, seeing this little Chucky doll. I was expecting it to have like big muscular arms, like maybe just the overalls with just this beefy torso, and that's not really what we got. It was dressed like a normal Chucky doll. The chest of its shirt and overalls were ripped open, and it had like this GI Joe looking chest that you could see half of through its clothes, and its arms didn't look very beefy. So I was a little disappointed by that, but it was still funny as hell to see this deep voice, buff little Chucky doll waddling in. And we don't see what happens with him and the nice Chucky doll, but it does not seem like good things. He makes a comment that he doesn't normally eat cream puffs, but that today is a cheat day. And that's when the episode ends. So we don't get to see what happens between these two Chucky dolls. But I don't see it turning out good for the nice Chucky doll, which is too bad because I was really interested in seeing how they would play on that and if this little Chucky doll would be helping Jake and Devin and Lexi through the rest of this season. But I guess that's not going to happen. So, which is okay. I just would like to see more of this nice Chucky. It was interesting, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm amazed that that brainwashing technique worked. They thought the Chucky doll was trying to play them. I'm pretty sure most people watching it thought the Chucky doll was trying to play them, and it was just it was funny. Um, it was a decent episode. I wish we would have gotten to see what's going on with Tiffany and Nika and with Glenn and Glenda, but we didn't. There's still, several more weeks to go, so I'm sure we'll get a lot more with those characters. And overall, this season's not too bad. All right, well, I think that's all I have to say about this episode. Thanks for watching the video. If you like this video, can you please hit the like button? You can also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be updated whenever I upload a new video. And until next time, keep on creeping on.